A short, incomplete, story I began writing tonight. All opinions welcome smile. I stared out the window, with a look sharp enough to pierce the glass. I allowed my imagination to run free, watching a half-deer half-seal hybrid lug itself across the ground, while the almighty wizard thrashed his sword down, delivering the final blow. As the hybrid perished, flames grew out of its carcass, daring to take jabs at the wizard and Megan. "Considering your recent test score, I'd highly recommend paying more attention to me," Miss Lard remarked before placing my test upside down in a way that perfectly encapsulated her emotion. I flipped the page. 37%, with the note in the corner to see her after school. Fantastic. As the bell rang and everyone quickly motioned for the door, Miss Lard made eye contact with me and beckoned me to her desk. "You know, if you don't get out your head, you'll be stuck there." I scoffed, as I envisioned horns penetrating her skin, rising at each side of her head. Gnarly, I thought to myself, while watching her mouth make overly dramatized movements with an almost theatrical way about it. "Understood?" Miss Lard asks. I nod, to which she sighs. What a peculiar woman, one who sighs at an agreement, I considered, before leaving. The halls were dingy and lifeless. I was unsure of how long she'd been performing her mouth dance for as I gave the ever-so-heavy door a large push and began to head home. On my way, I witnessed a car taking flight and zooming over the heads of passers-by, before coming to a halt when it was met by a roaring dragon, spitting sharp shards of ice through the car's window. I was slightly sad when I realized I had reached my door and hoped to continue this story on the way to school the next morning. Because of my lateness, my father had already had to leave for the night shift before being able to greet me. "Shame," I muttered, wondering if I'd have received that greeting even if I had been home earlier. I cleared my path of emptied beer bottles and climbed the stairs to my haven. The walls were lined with drawings of things no one else had ever seen, for my own brilliant mind had created them. I threw myself on the bed and glanced at my mirror. I pictured a woman crawling out of it, her hair long and luscious, her eyes full of secrets and a face that inspired wisdom in anyone who looked long enough. She was a marvel, a swirling tornado of intelligence and determination. She walked further out of my mirror, until she entered my room, edging closer to the bed where I was sitting. I grew confused, watching her do things I wasn't telling her to. She stood in front of me and placed her hand on my arm. The warmth lit up all my senses, and fear coursed through my veins. It was as though she'd escaped my mind. I shut my eyes tightly and cleared my mind of anything I was picturing before, but the warm sensation of her touch remained, and as I opened my eyes, she too remained.